Up! You work at the Plasma Donation Center and you just had your third kid. You up!
Oh, what's this? A Dodge Caravan? Oh, and it comes with a save the date. Oh.
You now need the cheapest 3-row vehicle you can find. 1994 Dodge Caravan. $600 or trade for a Bayou 250. When a second-generation Caravan approaches, you feel anxiety because out of this family car will pour tragic stories funneled in your direction. Like Paul Revere, the driver will tell you a story that sounds well-rehearsed. Mother in the hospital, father pregnant, infant in jail, Jesus trying to kick smack, lost all their money investing in the internet, the car is running on fumes, I'm the illegitimate son of Sitting Bull and Teddy Roosevelt. Hey, help a fella out. You have Venmo, right? Dodge Caravan, the official car of putting a quarter in the rocket ship ride outside of Insalacos and calling it investing in my child's future. Dodge Caravan, brought to you by kickstarting a political discussion with a registered nurse as they hook up your IV bag. Dodge Caravan, the official car of buying counterfeit Pennsylvania inspection stickers. Look, I see a second-gen Caravan parked at the supermarket. I'm parking on the opposite side of the lot. I'm keeping my clip-on sunglasses on. I'm keeping my mask up past the bridge of my nose and my hat down below my eyebrows. Because this van carries an 11.3 cubic foot Gordian knot of problems going back to conception. The second gen was Chrysler's silver age. Iacocca gave the company the biggest push he could. He stepped down as CEO 2 years prior to this Caravan year, and Chrysler was sailing on a wave of kinetic energy. The second gen offered the Mitsubishi 3-liter single overhead cam V6 as its top engine, and an all-wheel drive option, and a 4-cylinder for base cars. The interior was logical and eye-pleasing. Door handles were ergonomic, and the sliding door slid easily when it was new. Take the middle and the back seats out and you have a truck. Front-wheel drive gave you a flat floor, and cubby holes had lids to keep spilled soda out.
Son of a... This is a thing I remember fully about these old second-gen Caravans is these. They always stick, and then they go like that. They stick, and then they go, and they snap, and then they close back. Oh, for fuck's sake! How hard is that? Is nuts! You can't... There we go.
In the 1990s, a Caravan meant that you were winning. You're a good family. Now it's 2021, and the full-size quad-cab pickup is the new good family symbol. And a second-gen Caravan is now a sign that your neighborhood property values are falling. Oh! A 94 Caravan is now parked on my street. I know what's coming next. 4 police cars. Every generation gets the people mover it deserves. Kids were being raised by MTV and Nickelodeon in the 90s. A bugle horn for the sad decline of the minivan's cultural moment. What used to be the sign of a reassuringly boring 80s upbringing had become a rolling box of self-reflection. The kid in the passenger seat in 1984 was now the driver in his early 20s in 1994, his head swimming with postgraduate ideas of an affluent future. A starter vehicle intended to be sold in a few years and remembered fondly from behind the wheel of a handsomely priced Mercedes. Because in a very Theodore Dreiser kind of way, the 1990s represented people who thought mostly of themselves because they'd never been taught to think about society. People will say today's kids are the me generation, not realizing that every generation goes through periods of self-involvement. But whether you're ready for it or not, responsibility always comes crashing down like a New Mexico weather balloon. The condom broke, and now you're stuck with this Caravan. You grow a pair of horn-rimmed glasses and New Balances appear in your closet where none had been before. One child becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and the nuclear family piles into the old Dodge Caravan because Ocean City is waiting and the sandcastles aren't going to build themselves. 1994 Dodge Caravan. For people who went to Ocean City, New Jersey because Wildwood is too rowdy. Time begins to pile up like cholesterol levels, and suddenly the kids are grown, and they'd rather drive a Dodge Neon, and you accept their rejection of the Caravan because at least they're staying in the Dodge family. And so the Caravan becomes the gig-mobile for Dad's Stevie Ray Vaughan cover band, playing dive bars that aren't actually dive bars. Just commercialized, fully sanitized approximations of a place where crooked noses get punched straight. All their best years are now stories, fully remembered and recalled over several hours and many Yinglings. They can't play as well as Stevie Ray Vaughan, but who can? That was never the goal. It's just dads rocking out, enjoying each other's company, the raindrop applause of an indifferent crowd, and that first free round that comes with being the night's entertainment. And yet, even as its social capital eroded, the Dodge Caravan arguably came into its own as a car in the second generation. Offering the 2.5-liter EDMK engine to replace the 2.6 Mitsubishi engine it had utilized previously. And I think the idea with the EDM inline-4 was to favor low-end torque over high RPMs. Either way, this was all matched to an optional 5.3 manual new process A523 transmission, which got you fuel economy in the neighborhood of 15 city and 26 highway. The Kelley Blue Book value of a used 1994 Dodge Caravan in 2021 is $500, which makes it even more baffling that this car was repossessed. Oh, we didn't mention? Yeah, no. This car was bought off of a guy who found it at a repo auction. A repo auction. Someone defaulted on their payments on a 94 Caravan. Basically, the guy James got this off of last March for the Lemons Rally got it after the bank repossessed this car from a lady who decided to take revenge on that bank by keying the hell out of her own car. So this van sat for the past 15 years, and then James said, I want that for the Lemons Rally. Okay, I guess we'll be fair to that lady who keyed her own car up. I mean, for all we know, she might have been going through some serious stuff, and not everybody has $500 on them or whatever the payment was, and I guess it's a privileged mindset to assume everybody has that sort of scratch on them at a moment's notice. Come to think of it, when I was in grad school, when I met Nick Roman, I was in the same boat. Like, I had enough money for the next month, whatever. But it's a Dodge Caravan. Either you got screwed by someone who made you think it was worth way more, or your Dodge brand loyalty is stronger than people who watch Dragon Ball all the time. Everything was broken on this. Shifter bushings, rotting stuff, panels, everything. James just fixed it on the cheap. The only thing he really didn't cheap out on was the shifter, because this shifter is way down like in the hull. Originally, it's not supposed to be this high. But he just made his own stock. It's like, I want ergonomics. I want it right here. Used 1994 Dodge Caravan. For the guy whose only Valentine comes from Team Snapchat. The second-gen Caravan also played a role in the evolution of the SUV. Because it embodied one of the last iterations of a style that saved Chrysler. A variation on the original K car. But to accommodate an even larger family than you probably planned on having. And as a result of their affordability and utility, these were everywhere in the 90s, especially once they hit the used market. Driving a Dodge Caravan in the early 90s was like putting all your stat boosts into health. But by the late 1990s, you could get decent prices on used second gens, so Richard Rambo and the Burnt Clutch 5 could make their gig at the silo every Saturday and their birthday clown commitments every Sunday. 1994 Dodge Caravan, for the guy whose favorite album is 50 Free Hours of AOL. The 2.5-liter EDMK throttle body injected four-cylinder makes 100 horsepower and 135 pound-feet, which is grossly underpowered for a 7-seat van. But the 5-speed new process, A523 gearbox, helps you make use of whatever power you have. I only saw one other manual Caravan in the wild, and that was a swap at Carlisle. This is fun. I mean, the 2.5 isn't a revvy four-cylinder, so the fun of driving this is constantly shifting to keep the engine in the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM happy spot.
Yeah.
All right, here's where a four-cylinder is running out. Am I in fifth gear here?
Nope, you're in, I don't know, maybe you were in fifth gear. No, that's third.
Yeah, that's even third is kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just put it in
with
second.
This hill.
Yeah.
There's no rear sway bar, so this box tilts way over in the smallest turns. It's like driving Missy Elliott's inflatable suit. It can do 70 miles an hour. Doesn't like to, but it will. So it's just like my Nissan POW. That can do 70, but it doesn't wanna. So I learned to drive on a 94 Dodge Caravan. My family had the 10-year limited edition, special edition of the 94. And that got you two-tone paint, painted alloy 5-spoke wheels, a tape cassette player, electric rear vent windows, factory tint tachometer, the Mitsubishi 3-liter V6, and automatic transmission. And my dad adored that car. It went through 2 transmissions. Rust finally took it, as is tradition in Pennsylvania, so I guess embrace the transience and impermanence of your car. Enjoy it for a limited time in participating lifetimes, because so are you. I don't know what it is about a Dodge Caravan that brings like a vague melancholy to my mind. It's a reminder of the impermanence of certainty, how briefly the feeling of having it all figured out truly lasts. If an old classmate you haven't heard about in a while dies, odds are you're going to find out about it from a memorial message on the rear glass of a 94 Caravan outside your local hometown takeout Chinese food place. This was Dodge's longest-lasting nameplate, running for some 36 model years, beating out the Dodge Ram, which lasted from 1980 to 2009 before being split off into its own thing. Production didn't actually come to an end on the Caravan until August 21st, 2020, as the resurrected Chrysler Voyager will now take its place, with the irony being that the Caravan was originally marketed as the Voyager alone in some foreign markets. Will this van be missed? Will the name be missed? I don't know. These cars help father the modern SUV for better or worse, but I don't know what percentage of influence you can really credit to these minivans. If anything, they feel like a cultural artifact from an America that only exists in VHS recordings of afternoon 1990s television commercials. 1994 Dodge Caravan. For the small town that gets worked into a lather whenever a new fast food franchise opens.
We were kids when I wrote that song. Now you're 7 months along. I let the moment slip away. Just got to save the day. But you and I found the commonality of the common ground. And I'll see you again